Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is November 17th, 2022. We're dead in the middle of November and Bitcoin has still not budged, right? We've been in a long consolidation channel between, 15.5 and about 22K for about 6 months, right? Not a big range, but Bitcoin's still kind of hanging out, okay, on the larger and smaller time frames. So let's look at it. What is likely to happen next? Okay, lots of people are short. Okay, we can see that given the open interest data that we have on exchanges. And is this a bear pennant, as many people are reading it? Do we have any examples of any assets in the cryptocurrency space that have made big moves out of this, right? Remember, crypto's cool because you can usually see what's likely to happen, because Bitcoin is typically not the first one of like the tens of thousands of assets that exist to move. So if you can find it, you should be able to find big movers. And if you can ascertain what direction they moved in, you're likely to see the same thing throughout the rest of the market. So we're going to do that today. We're going to also look at the DXY as usual, and we're going to go through our watch list. So if that interests you guys, then stay tuned. Hope you're having a great day. Today is a bit windy and chilly in the DC metro area. All right, let's get started. You know what I want to start with today? The crypto total market cap. I'm going to look at the entire cryptocurrency space, and I'm going to tell you why. So, we use Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large, and that's fine. But in this case, I like to look at the total crypto market cap, because if our analysis is correct on the higher time frames, then we're about to go into a bull market, then what we're going to see is altcoins really front-running Bitcoin, okay? And what do I mean by really front-running it? Meaning, okay, Bitcoin goes up 5%, some altcoins are going to go up 50%, okay? 500%, quite literally, right? So what we want to do is really take into account what the altcoins are doing and see if that can't give us an inkling, some sort of insight as to what we should expect in the cryptocurrency space, okay? It's kind of like what, I just mentioned, looking at other assets in the cryptocurrency space to see where they've moved and see if Bitcoin may not do that very same thing, all right? So this is the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. Looks very much like Bitcoin's chart, okay? I'm just going to go side by side real quick. So here's Bitcoin's chart, yeah? Let's make that. Here's Bitcoin's chart. You can see most people are reading this as a five-wave move, which I believe it is. Let's try that again. A five-wave move, which I believe it is. And they're reading this as some sort of triangle, okay? Which I do not believe it is. But that's how a lot of people are reading it. And they're seeing that this is likely to break down to create some sort of bear pennant, okay? So that's what Bitcoin looks like. Meanwhile, the total cryptocurrency market cap looks similar. You've got this move, which is impulsive, and you got what looks like a triangle, but it's not a triangle. Okay, what's a triangle? A triangle is an A, B, C, D, E. It's a 5-leg move consisting of 3 legs each. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2. It just wouldn't make sense. Okay, because a triangle is a B wave. So if this was a triangle, if all this was a triangle, then this would have to be an A wave. Do you understand? It'd have to be not just any A wave. It'd have to be, let's see. Let's go on the daily time frame. Okay, here you can see much more clearly the integrity of this channel right here on the total cryptocurrency market cap, more so than Bitcoin's Bitcoin's chart. On the daily time frame, you can really see exactly how you got a 3-wave move targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, and you got a counter wave, a 3-wave move in the counter direction, in the opposite direction, which is a B wave. You can very clearly see that. Okay, and that basically what you have here is a 2nd degree AB base. I think that's quite clear on the total cryptocurrency market cap, right? And so could this be right here? Could this be a 5-3-5 move? Technically speaking, in the total cryptocurrency market cap, let me clean that up so I can see where I'm pulling the Fibonacci retracement tool. So technically speaking, if this is an A wave, if you take the Fibonacci retracement tool, you can come all the way down here. Okay, technically speaking, that is possible. Okay, but is that going on? So that's what is technically possible from that perspective, pulling the A wave. But now looking at this this impulse of this B wave right here. Again, let's go down into the 4-hourly time frame. Remember, these zigzags happen with 5 waves up, 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. Are you saying that you're getting a triangle as the 3 waves? Perhaps, but let me tell you that the minimum retracement for a B wave in a zigzag is 0.5, and that has not been hit. Okay, so as it stands, it's highly unlikely, just technically speaking, that this is a 5-wave move and this is a triangle that can just break down, because you would have to at least hit the 0.5 right here before creating a zigzag scenario. Okay, so that's just the technical read, and like the probabilistic analysis on that scenario. Now, let's say you don't think it's a triangle and you think it is a sort of a 3-wave move. One, I don't know what you think. This is coming up like this. Something like that. And then it goes down. I guess. It's just unlikely. But like I said, on the total cryptocurrency market cap, I think it's clear what's going on. This is big A. This is big B. And then over here, we should have a 2nd degree AB base. Right? I think that's quite clear. Or let's see. Let me see something. Let me just make sure. Okay. Okay, here's something else. Here's something else. That can be A. This can be 1, 2, 3. A B wave. Okay. Right here, because this pivot right here, this pivot into the second degree, let's say this is the second degree, hit the 786. So this is a valid B wave flat correction, all of this. So then you could say that this is the second degree here. And that is a legal second degree B wave. That's the other possibility right here. That's probably even more likely. And you just about touched the 1618. So this is a legal retracement right here. And then, okay, so that's possible. That's possible. Let me just draw that out real quick. So just looking at the total crypto market cap, this may be an exhaustive 2 degrees of AB basing and then a pivot up and out. I think that's even more likely, and I'm going to tell you why I think that is. I think that's more likely, and I'm going to tell you why that is. So, looking at this right here, zooming in, using the 4-hourly time frame, this would then be required to be the pivot, right? 2 degrees of AB basing plus a pivot, and your AB base consolidation reversal channel is complete. So this, once again, is an A wave targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, right? The previous impulsive trend. So that is where we start our analysis. B wave, it's very clear that this is a 3-wave move. Now the question is this the B wave of the B wave, or is this the finished B wave? Is this a second degree? Not exactly sure. Okay, whenever price is moving this slowly, you know that you're in a B wave or an X wave. You're in one of those intermediary corrective waves. Price only moves this slowly and dilly-dallies in these conditions, right? The A wave, the initial break of structure is quick, it's swift. The resulting B wave is typically slow, okay? So what we've got here is, I think, if this is going to be a 3-wave move, all this is going to be a 3-wave move. Let me tell you this. If we do this, 3 waves, okay, let me tell you this. In this pivot, just looking at this pivot, okay? If we do this, 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, that's a likely move. That's a likely scenario, okay? Because this may be that intervening B wave. So if we come up to, and we're going to switch to Bitcoin in a second, but this level around the 786, around here, and top out, and then pivot back down, then that'll be, it's likely that we're doing something like this before something like that, okay? So that's my read using the total crypto market cap. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. So G Tekken says, keep up the good work. It's appreciated. Thank you, G Tekken. I appreciate your support. So looking at Bitcoin, we kind of have the same analysis, right? Let's go on the daily real quick. Problem with these fucking with these consolidation reversal patterns is it's tricky. It's so tricky, right? It's tricky. You just have to do your best because there's just so many different permutations and combinations that price can take. It's hard to know with a high degree of probability what exactly is happening. But I believe for Bitcoin, this was our big A. This was our big B. I've read this so many different ways. No. The only way it can work, the only way this, because we went down a lot lower than we thought, right? The only way it can work is if all of this is B, right? Yeah, I've come to that conclusion in Bitcoin, right? Because we went so far below what we thought. The only way that this is a contiguous consolidation reversal pattern is if this B wave is the counter to that A wave. And so this all is one big B wave. Okay, that's the only way it makes sense in Bitcoin. Okay, that's a tricky bit. Although it looks very similar to what we see in the total crypto market cap, I'd read both differently. And price does that sometimes. You have different reads. It still fits the theory, but the application's different, right? So I would look at big A, big B there. And so here, these smaller bits, I would say, in Bitcoin, you're getting the second degree of AB basing. Sometimes this happens. I've seen the second degree of AB base, the second degree AB base so much smaller than the first. Sometimes it's just as big. Sometimes it's bigger. There's no rhyme or reason. I would say that's the second degree AB base for Bitcoin because of what I just said, this coming down so much further. The only way it's a contiguous consolidation reversal is if this impulse is the impulsive leg down of the larger B wave. Okay, so that's the second degree right there, and then I think this is the pivot right here. Okay, I think, right, which would make 5, 3, right? And then whatever this is, maybe a subsequent smaller pivot. I don't know, you know. I was surprised that this move didn't result in that impulse. Maybe it comes right here. I don't know. Okay? So I really don't know what to tell you. One of the reasons I started the stream a little later today is because I really didn't know what to talk about because nothing had really changed. And I couldn't really tell what was going on, to be honest. So I'm trying to figure it out with you guys. Another thing that kind of leads me to believe that we're so close is this. I want to show you 2 examples of assets that have run. Just like I said in the beginning of the stream, sometimes you can look towards other assets in the market. Okay, so we're going to do 2 things. First thing is, obviously this isn't an exhaustive watch list, but, you know, over the years, you know, these are the assets that I'm like, oh, let me just have a look, and I put it in this watch list, and, you know, I just let this watch list accumulate. It's just, a variety of altcoins, nothing really, you know, no rhyme or reason, and I just let it grow, okay? So it kind of represents a decent amount of altcoins, a variety of altcoins. In this watch list, what I'm looking for are 2 things. Big movers in either direction. So let's say I had an asset that was down like 30% or a bunch of assets that were down double digits. I'd pay attention because maybe they're front running the next big move, and the next big move is down. Or maybe I have the same thing, a few assets that are up double digits. Then I'm like, oh, okay, then I guess that's the next big move. You see what I'm saying? I'm kind of looking to see what the market's going to do. So if I go in the opposite, I'm seeing the biggest losers. And the biggest losers, just looking at my watch list, seem to me to be retracing from a big move up. Okay, so DYDX, retracing from a big move up. Solana, still in this structure right here that we're looking at, right? That we've been looking at. This pivot, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Still kind of in this pivot, down 4%. So I'm like, okay, the biggest losers are pretty much at support, okay? Now let's go to and this is just a strategy thing. Just to get, because sometimes you really have no clue. And this is part of what I use to get an edge as to what's happening. Doesn't mean it's gonna be 100%, but you're just always trying to find ways when you're playing this market to figure out, to be a step ahead. And there are a variety of ways that you can get that edge, and this is just one of those ways, right? So I'm looking at VGX, Voyager token, and Voyager is an exchange. And for those of you who don't know, Voyager was one of the exchanges earlier in the bear market that was affected by the Celsius capitulation, by Celsius's bankruptcy, I believe, right? I think. In any case, I know they were affected by something. I'm pretty sure it was Celsius, and Voyager pretty much filed for bankruptcy, and then FTX was going to acquire them, something like that. Yeah. So it's an embattled project. It has issues, yet and still you'll see, the chart's still doing what it does, right? Down here on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see you put in some AP basing, right? 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, a pivot, and an impulse. Okay, that's what we expect. 2 degrees of AB basing, a pivot, and an impulse. You got an impulse, okay? Zoom out just a bit, just to have some context. And what you can see is it just pumped. Let me try to get my screen back. There we go. It just pumped from the bear market lows. Okay, this is the channel, the consolidation reversal channel that it was in since May, and this move happened out of that. So that's interesting, right? So maybe that's telling us something. Maybe that's telling us that, okay, you can expect the rest of the market that's kind of been hanging out at the bear market lows to matriculate up and out towards the top of that channel. Okay, another example, Request Network. This is another altcoin. Don't know much about it, but just technically speaking, I have this consolidation reversal range, this bear market low range, right? This accumulation channel, right after a big drawdown. And recently, what happened? You got some consolidation reversal on the smaller time frame and a move up from the support, from the base of that channel, right? So for people who think, 2 things, people who think that the bear market will be extended and what we're going to get is something like this. So this kind of, this is a repudiation of that thesis, right? Because you're finding support from the bottom of this channel. Okay, same thing with the Voyager token, a repudiation of that thesis, bounce at support. Okay, so those are 2 things, and that's kind of how I get an idea, higher time frame, like what's happening in the market. It doesn't matter what the token is. Obviously, if it's just one thing, you want to be careful that it's not an outlier. But typically speaking, if you're looking at your watch lists and pretty much the biggest gainers are substantially up and the biggest losers are at support or are retracing from a big move up like DYDX, then I think it's safe to assume with a higher degree of probability that the entire crypto market is moving up. Okay, and so let's go back and look at these on a smaller time frame. I think it's also important to note how they moved, right? So how did they move up? Quite simply, once again, after putting in 2 degrees of AB basing, that's an A wave, that's a 3-wave move B, that's a second degree A wave, second degree B wave, some pivot down here, and a move, okay? So that's 2 degrees of AB basing, a pivot, and a move. Request network, 1 degree of AB basing, 2 degrees of AB basing, a pivot, and a move, okay? So it did what we expect, right? The theory and all that stuff that we kind of, our research is playing out, again, in an example with these 2 assets of how tokens change directions impulsively, go from, or projects, or price action rather, goes from down to up using these AB bases, okay? Or up to down, it's the same thing. So that tells me something, okay? Because honestly, like, there's so many times you just don't know, you have no clue. But there's always some ways to get an idea. If you have no idea, you're fucked. And you shouldn't be trading. You always should have some inkling as to what is likely to be happening, okay? The other thing I want to show you that gives me some inkling as to what price action is doing and where it's going is the DYDX, okay? Or sorry, did I say DYDX? DXY, the US dollar currency index. We all know the US dollar currency index trades it trades inversely, right, to the dollar and stocks and risk on assets, okay? At least it does on a higher time frame, and sometimes it does so on a smaller time frame as well. So what we can see here is on the hourly time frame, we've gone down, right, as we expected. We've gone down impulsively, and now we're starting to correct. Now, as you can see, I've put in these 2 time measures. Why? Because waves of the same degree are comparable in time and in price in Elliott waves. And now that we're in impulsive price action, that we feel it's highly likely that we're in impulsive price action. And let's just go in the 4-hourly time frame to prove that. So impulsive price action is where you see, 53535, you're starting to go down quickly. I think that this, and I did this analysis the other day, this is a 5-wave move down. And so the subsequent 3 waves would be wave 2, okay? So if that's indeed wave 2, the time it took us to come down should be around the same time it took us to go up. Now, I haven't figured out exactly how to do this with all the gaps, but I'm just guesstimating here because of course traditional assets, they don't trade on certain days, and so it creates gaps in the charts, and so it kind of throws off the timing. But whatever, I just pulled the time tool for the first wave up until this capitulative candle right here, completing the 5-wave move down. And so from this, I measured around 5 days, and that's the closest I got. And that would give us an open, essentially, on Sunday. How many times have we seen that? Sunday, we would complete this move, probably gap up, then pivot, and then resume the trend, okay? So all I'm saying is that in the interim, what we have, now let's keep zoomed let's keep on the hourly time frame and let's move this out of the way. And what I want to draw your attention to is this. So I drew it free-handed. And let me just remove this because you kind of get the point, right? This should be around this size just because the 5 waves, the preceding 5 wave moves, 5 wave move down was around this size in time, okay? So you should most likely have a 3 wave move here. Don't know exactly how it's going to come, but it looks like it's going to be a flat correction. So 3 waves in the A wave, okay? This is not a consolidation reversal. Now we're dealing with an intra-wave correction, right? That's a second mode of Elliott wave price action, right? First is impulse. Second, just in my categorization, okay? There's no like, I just make sense of it like this. And this is how I talk about it on the channel. So I'm just going to be consistent. First is impulse. Second, intra-wave correction. Third, AB basing. So this is second mode, intra-wave correction. So you have typically a 3 wave move, right? Sometimes it's flavors of 3. You can get 5, 7s, all that kind of stuff. But, run of the mill is 3 waves. 3 wave move up, A wave. And then I think we're going to get this right here. And we've already kind of got it. Let's go back. I'm going to draw it with you so you can understand. I'm going to try to make sense of this. So let's try that again. So here's my estimation of what the DXY is going to look at, right? I've already explained why. Now let me show you what. It's 3 waves up. So you see these 3 waves? You see these 3 waves? I think what you get is a pivot here. And then a 5 wave move down. Okay? Maybe you don't get that pivot. Maybe you already got that pivot. But in the short term, you get that 5 wave move down. You're probably going to make a lower low. The B wave typically makes a lower low. So, not to confuse anybody, but I broke it down. Essentially, what you're going to get is a 3 wave move, likely, to form the B wave, okay? So that would be the A wave. That would be the B wave. And then to open the market on Sunday evening, I think you complete this move up to between the 0.5 and the 618 of this wave 1, and that completes your wave 2 correction. So I think because we're really close to this impulse of the B wave, you're going to get a move soon in Bitcoin and in crypto. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Hope that wasn't too confusing. I know I can get quite technical, but I hope you appreciate it. For those of you who are into technical analysis, I hope you like it because, I love technical analysis, and there's not that much robust technical analysis online. It's a lot of like mixing of technical analysis and fundamental analysis and macro this and macro that, but people just say stuff like with no evidence whatsoever, like, and they'll like tell you the bear market is going to be prolonged because of the contagion of the FTX debacle. Other people say, no, this will make the bear market shorter, or the market moved down obviously because of the CPI number or something, like whatever, right? So if you're not into all of that and you like the charts and you like the data that are provided by price action, then hope you guys appreciate this. The last part of why I'm confident, fairly confident, that the next big move sooner than later is up is this. The 4-hourly time frame stochastic RSI is completely bottomed, and it looks to be crossed bullish. Okay, so you're seeing this throughout. I'm just going down. Do you see right here the 4-hourly stochastic RSI is oversold and crossed bullish? Oversold, crossed bullish. Oversold, about to cross bullish. Oversold, about to cross bullish. And this is already kind of moved in Litecoin. The Litecoin gives credence to this whole idea of this being an intra wave or kind of like a B wave, but I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Again, this is interesting. Look at this. Synthetics spent all this time in this small range right here, which I think is a wave 4 complex correction, by the way. And in that time, which is a long time, on the 4-hourly time frame, went all the way from overbought to oversold without moving. That's divergence. A lot of times people look at charts and say, they're trying to read divergences basically by seeing, a higher high or higher low rather, and then a lower low in the stochastic RSI or vice versa, right? That would indicate bearish divergence, and then you could see bullish divergence with the opposite, like a lower low and then a higher low with, or using the highs. It doesn't matter. This is divergence. Why is this divergence? In the time it took for price to basically not move down, it stayed in this restricted range. The momentum went all the way down and reset. That shows strength. Okay, because if it wasn't divergent, what you would see is this would follow that. Do you understand? And because price action remained strong, it diverges with the momentum. The momentum reset to oversold, yet price stayed strong and held the integrity of this channel. That tells you that there's strength. That's a sign of strength, and that's a form of bullish divergence using this stochastic RSI. I don't know what it's called. I don't know, but that's just using this all the time and looking at it all the time. I consider that if I'm trading, if I'm like assessing a chart, if I see something like that, that to me is a bullishly divergent. And the same is true if for the opposite. If the price is moving like this, it's just, jeez. Sorry, 1 second. I don't know why my pen's not as responsive. So my pen's like not responsive anymore. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's try that again. I literally can't. Let me try to reset this. Okay, let's try that one more time. We're on the 4-hourly time frame. So yeah, the opposite is true. If price was to come down like this, and the momentum indicator were to go up like that, that's super bearish. That's bearishly divergent because you went down, yet your momentum indicator is resetting to overbought, basically yielding or prepping or setting up for another move down. Do you understand? So that's another way to read divergences with the stochastic RSI momentum indicator. In any case, if you don't remember, my count for synthetics was pretty straightforward. I think it's in impulse, and that it has been in this wicked complex wave 4 correction. So if I take that as wave 1, retracement of wave 2, I hit wave 3 between 1618 and 2. So I really like that for wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 situation. And we know wave 4 can take hella long, which it clearly has, right? And the other thing I like about this wave 4 is that if you measure the retracement of wave 4 vis-a-vis wave 3, you see it hits above the 0618, which means that it's legal, it's extended, right? Because typically wave 4 only comes down to a maximum of 382, but in a depressed wave 4, it respects at least the 0618, and that would be an example of a leading diagonal, in which case you get an extended wave 5, and I could see an extended wave 5 out of this, to a minimum of the 1618 of waves 1 through 3, retracement of wave 4. So, boom, something like this would not shock me, right? Minimum 1618, right? So somewhere up here for synthetics. And I like the symmetry on that as well. Remember, that's always the look, Prechter and Frost talk about this. The right look. That looks nice to me. That looks probable. Okay? So those are the reasons I'm expecting a move soon. DXY is favorable, moving favorably to the downside sooner than later. Okay? Even if it comes up intermittently, it has to put in this three-wave move. Impulsive three-wave move, right? You got the impulsive, you got the A wave targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. Now all of this, whatever it is, whatever B wave it is, any corrective wave ends in impulse, okay? And if this is 3 waves, you know that this has to come to a minimum of the 786 of this, okay? So expect that move down. We may be getting it right now. That would mean a move up in crypto, okay? And again, a lot of times you make a lower low with these B waves. So 786 to 1618, anywhere there. But, it's probably going to bring a move down and then some sort of pivot before a move up, which would complete the wave 2 correction. So that's one reason why I think the next move, the next imminent big move that you're going to see in crypto is up, right? The total cryptocurrency market cap looks to be like it's in consolidation reversal, does not look to be in a pennant, bear pennant, okay? We disproved that. Very improbable because this A wave did not come to the 0.5 minimum of this 5-wave move. So that's likely off the table. Okay, so the total crypto market cap is saying that, the DXY is saying that, the position of the 4-hourly stochastic RSI being oversold is saying that, and the front runners in the general watch list, in Voyager token and Request, are telling us, Request Network, as well as the dearth or complete absence of any big movers to the downside. If we had any big movers, right, projects that were legitimately making lower lows, then you could say, oh, this is probably coming. That's nowhere in sight, okay? So it's very likely, and that's my analysis, it's very likely that the next big move is up. How and when is hard to say because these B waves can take their time. But that's essentially my analysis, and that's why I'm still bullish at these levels. Now let's just quickly go through the watch list, the money watch list, if you want to call it, or my active trades, and then let's call it a stream. Also, don't forget, if you do want me to look at something, let me know now. Just put it in the chat. I'm actually going to take 2 seconds. I'm going to go get some water. So talk amongst yourselves. Give me a second. All right, we're back. We're back. All right, let's do that analysis and call it a stream. Let's start off with Bitcoin. I really like this. Um, One thing I'm not so hot about is the fact that the 4 hourly stochastic RSI didn't come all the way down, but that's okay. It doesn't necessarily need to. What I do like about it is that it created this double bottom here, and it's moving up from there. But I do want to see a a move, a substantive move from here. If this next move is very slow and lackluster, then for sure this whole bit of price action is intermediary, and I'm expecting some sort of impulse to complete this entire counter, or what would it be? This entire counter, right? So this basically would be like A, B, C, okay? But, obviously we'll see. I don't know. But if this is it, then we should see something, and something big, sooner than later. It can't take too long. If it takes too long to go up, then it is a B wave. All of this is a B wave. All of this is a B wave. If it takes too long to go up, that it is. Or if it stops, just all of a sudden just stops somewhere up here, So that's Bitcoin. Same thing with Polkadot. It's looking similar. What I like more about Polkadot than Bitcoin is that, and this gives me confidence, like what I just mentioned, the 4 hourly stochastic RSI is bottomed out, oversold territory. Also, you've come down to a support level. It's a very clear support level here of this price action. Okay, so the fact that you're at support here and you're at support there gives me confidence that it's likely that your next move is up and out. Cardano even more at support. It's a little more straight, right? You got your initial move targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. Your counter move looks like a clear counter move right there. Doesn't look like some ambiguous 1, 2, 3. No. This looks like a clear counter that's complete. And then this looks like a second degree. And that looks like a second degree. Okay, so I think Cardano looks more the part. And I guess you can more confidently say, yes, that next move is not just up here, but out of this in Cardano. Okay. Reserve rights, same thing. I like being on support. You can always wick support, but I like being on support, and I like the momentum being on support. Those two things give me confidence to believe that this is a launch pad. Dodo, sure, it's a bit wicky, but that's fine. Ethereum is always a good one to do analysis with because it's so. Ethereum is very consistent. It's very consistently strong. If you really study charts and you look at this enough, you'll see Ethereum, especially after the triple halving, tends to retrace minimally. Okay? And if it's given the choice to put in a flat correction or a zigzag correction, it's going to put in a zigzag correction because the zigzag correction includes a 0.5 to 618 retracement of the B wave instead of the 786 to 1618 flat correction of the B wave. Okay? So here, what you can see is a 5-wave move up, a 3-wave move down between the 0.5 and the 618. So that's a zigzag. And I think You know what? Ethereum might have put in a triangle. Let's go. I'm not certain, but I don't dislike that. Yeah, I do actually. You know, because you don't get your 2 degrees. I don't love it. Um, I don't love it. Okay, here's what. Here's what. This is, I think, a kind of bull pennant. It's a kind of bull pennant in Ethereum, to be honest. Okay, at the very least, I think that's what you're looking at. I like that. I really like that. Okay, and I really like the entire market moving up from here because of what Ethereum is showing me. Okay, why? Because I think it's quite clear that this level, remember what I said about Ethereum putting in zigzags. It's so consistent, and I'm not going to show it to you right now, but prove it to yourselves. You know, go on a higher time frame. Just look at Ethereum's price action. It's nothing but zigzags. It's just nothing but zigzags, and by zigzags I mean 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, and those 3 waves down, respecting the 0.5 to 618 Fibonacci retracement of those 5 waves up. Okay. For that reason, I would not I would be shocked, surprised if there was any there was any way that this level, which represents the 618 level, I'm just eyeballing it, is broken. If this is your A wave, this level holds. Okay, so if the entire cryptocurrency market goes down from here, how does Ethereum's just not going to decouple. You know, everything's kind of doing, similar things. I think the whole market goes up. It's more likely than not, right? For that reason, okay? And the count for Ethereum of that of that of this price action, I don't think it's one contiguous thing. I think this is 2 degrees of AB basing that just so happens to be in the form of a descending wedge type triangle. I think here what you have is an A, B, C zigzag, okay? And then here, from this point on, or let's see. No. Here's that zigzag. Right here. It's finished right there. And I think it's finished right there because you see, look at that wick right there. That shows a completion. So this is your zigzag. That's your, your flat correction. That's your B wave of this A wave. Okay? So A waves, 5 waves up, 3 waves down. And then what you got here is 2 degrees of AB basing, as I see it. So you have a 3-wave move, A wave, and a 3-wave move, B wave, between 786 and 1618. Okay, so that's your first degree. And then your second degree, again, a 3-wave move, A wave, and then a 3-wave move, B wave. That's your second degree. And now a pivot, 3-wave move, A wave, 3-wave move, B wave. I think that's a pivot. And I think you go up from here. That's my read on Ethereum. And Ethereum's another asset that I think gives me confidence that the whole market goes up from this level, wherever you see whatever level that's represented in whatever project you're looking at. Zilliqa. Yeah, I see 2 degrees of AB basing here. Yeah, I see 2 degrees of AB basing. The A wave's always really, really obvious because it targets wave 4 of the previous trend. Okay, and this B wave's clearly a flat correction, right? because it's a three-wave move and you broke the 0618. So it's a flat correction, and then another three-wave move. But I think in this case you got, I believe in this case, you got some sort of through a five-wave move, right? For your secondary A wave, and then a three-wave move between the 0.5 and the 618, and now a pivot. And again, if price action is moving slowly, it's in a B wave or an X wave, in my experience. Okay, so if it's in a B wave or an X wave, a pivot is a, that would represent a B wave, right? Because you have the B wave of the pivot, or the B wave of the AB base. That's where price spends most of its time. So that would explain the slow moving price action, right? That's one of the characteristics of B waves. They move slowly. They're not fast. Dogecoin as well. I like the whole time in Dogecoin, you seem to have put in these zigzags, kind of like Ethereum. You put in that zigzag and it was complete, and you respected the 0.5618, right? And actually, I was saying that I like the symmetry here for a move up from here. Although we didn't go up from here, what did we do? We held that level. Doesn't have to happen, but I think that just shows strength, kind of like what you see in Ethereum. And then you have the subsequent 2 degrees of AB basing. That's your first, and then this is your second. Oh, that's a very clear one. That's really clear. That's really clear. Do you guys see that? Let's do that again. That's big A. This is big B. This is small a. This is a very clear small b. The hardest part of reading AB bases is reading the B waves. Trying to figure out the B waves. The A waves are always the easiest to tell, right? Because they're fast. They're usually concerted. They usually target a wave 4 of a previous trend, right? At least big A does, the first degree does. But the B wave, it looks, and also the A wave is just, there's just so many forms it could take, either 3 waves or 5 waves, right? But the B wave, it can look composed. The A wave can be composed too, but it typically is more straightforward than the B wave, okay? This is as clear a flat correction as you can get. And this basically tells us what we've seen, what we've read throughout many projects, that we've completed 2 degrees of AB basing and are in a pivot. And that pivot should be the last stage before a move up. So I feel like Dogecoin, its chart is telling me that that move up is imminent. That's what Dogecoin's chart's telling me. Litecoin is going. What I want to see before getting too excited is a break of this. If this breaks, then I start to think, okay, Litecoin is leaving. It's done. Okay. How do I read Litecoin's chart? That's my initial break of structure. This is my subsequent 3-wave move, B wave, and again, this is a zigzag. And I think, oh wow, okay, look, this is the second degree. Again, you have a clear B wave, and in this case, this B waves are running flat. Okay, this B waves are running flat, which indicates strong bullishness. Okay, and then after that, I think you got a pivot right here. So this might be it for Litecoin. This might very well be it. This might be it. I can see this technically leaving. I can see being completed. Okay, so a lot of assets are showing probability, not a definite, but a probability of being complete. Um, like I said, I think synthetics, some way, somehow, put in these 2 degrees of AB basing earlier. I've said this before. I just think it was like, this right here. This is clearly targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. This is the subsequent B wave. This is the second degree A wave, second degree B wave. Here's your pivot. I think your impulse started here. 1, 2, 3. Complex wave 4 correction. Let's read that and let's time it as well. This is another sort of avenue, or this is another area that I want to research. The time for wave 4, because we know time takes wave 1 and wave 2 are about comparable, right? You can measure that here. Wave 1 took about the same time as wave 2, but wave 4 doesn't really have any rhyme or reason. Like in this case, let's say wave 4 were complete. Let's just say we don't know, but wave 4 can take so long, okay, and it literally seems to have no relation to the time it's taken for wave 2 or wave 3, especially wave 3. So wave 4 here up until now, let's say this is it, 2 days and 18 hours, okay? So that's 66 hours, okay? So if that's true, wave 66 hours versus 6 hours. That's more than 10 times, right? That's more than 10 times wave 2. You see that sometimes, yeah? Especially in complex wave 4 corrections. How would I read this complex wave 4 correction? Going on the 15-minute time frame. I'd probably read it as a double 3. Okay, it looks crazy, but I think it's just a double 3, and here's what I would read it as, or how I would count that. Something like this. This 3-wave move here, 1, 2, 3, as my W. Okay, this A, B, C as my X. Okay, and I like to look at where there's an impulse. Remember, because the impulse always indicates the end or the conclusion of a move, of any corrective move. And so you look for those chunks. So I see this as being the X wave, W, X, Y, and it's composed. Obviously, that's why we call it a complex correction, because it nested within that X wave. You can see another double 3. And then I think this Y wave right here is a what do you call it? What the hell do you call it? A zigzag. 1, 2, 3. Zigzags are impulsive, so that's okay. So yeah, you see 5 waves. Perhaps wait. Yeah, zigzags are 5 through 5, right? So no zigzag. I think this is a pivot, and then this is your wave. Because zigzags are 5 through 5. This is a 3-wave move. That's a 3-wave move, and this is a 5-wave move. So I think this is just the pivot right here, and then you would count Y right there. So that's my count there. Okay, so it's just a not just, but it's a double 3, WXY complex correction, I think. But again, just mental note. This took 66 hours. If this is this count is correct or accurate, 66 hours, and then this took only 6 hours right here. So there's as far as I can tell, as far as I look, there's no relationship really between wave 4 and wave 2, other than the guideline of alternation, which states that wave 2 if wave 2 is simple, wave 4 is usually complex and vice versa. And that's exactly what we saw. Wave 2 is simple, wave 4 is complex. And that's pretty much what others before me have seen as far as relationships between wave 2 and wave 4. Okay. So Algorand, let's go back on the higher time frames. Let's go on the hourly. Yeah, I see 2 degrees of AB basing right here, right? I see this as an initial break of structure, targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. When I say targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, prove it to yourselves. Again, the whole purpose of this channel is educational. I know because I've seen this chart, but I'm not going to, take time and show you exactly that's wave 4. Prove it to yourselves. Zoom out, look on the 4-hourly, look on the daily, count it out. That is wave 4. That's the fourth wave of an impulse. Okay, and then you have this flat correction right here. So that's your first degree of AB basing complete. This is clearly some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. Okay, but so that would be some sort of zigzag, and then I think you get a 3-wave move. I think you get a 3-wave move like this, something like that. Okay, and perhaps this is your pivot right here. Okay, 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. I'd say it's very close, And last but not least, BNB. Okay, first thing I really like about this is this level of support right here. On this chart, on this time frame, this proves to be strong support, okay? Because when you go up and you come back down, and every time you hit that, you're reducing your volatility. That shows me something like this, okay? That general trend that you see in price action. On a higher time frame, let's go on the daily time frame, see if that level is significant, and it is, right? So zooming out, you can see that in the past, this level has been support. It's been support. See, you got a wick below it, but the body of the candle closed above it, and it was resistance up here. Okay, so this is an important level for Binance Coin. Okay. That being said, once again, I see 2 degrees of AB basing. That's clearly a wave 4 move, okay? I think you can see that here. 1, 2, extended wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? I think wave 3 and 5 are almost comparable in size, but wave 1 is extended. Okay? But you have wave A targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, a counter B wave, right? So that's the first degree. Here you go with the second degree A wave right here. Let's clean this up. There's your second degree A wave. And then 1, 2, 3. Second degree B wave. I think the second degree B wave ends here somewhere. Let's zoom in real quick. I think it ends here. Right here. Okay? So if that's true, then your pivot starts over here. A, B, maybe A. Yeah, I would say this is your pivot. Would not be surprised if you moved out, up and out of this area. And I guess again, what I want to say is this is another asset that tells me the whole market is likely, more than likely, to move up than down, because you can see that this is strong support even on the hourly time frame. You go on the daily time frame, you see that level is strong support. So it's more likely than not that the next big move is up and out rather than down. Okay, so that's Binance Coin. And that is the last asset that we have in our watch list. Guys, I hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night if it's night, day if it's day, and stay safe.